Hello everyone, it's FallenDice, and welcome to another episode of Minecraft Adventures with FallenDice. As you can see, I no longer have anything stored in here. In fact, I've even changed kind of the entrance up to here just to make it easier to get in and out of the nether. And that is because... good grief. I cannot wait to get my new computer. Why are you doing this to me? There we go. Alright, and that is because I did finish my storage. And it actually turned out really, really nice. I think I left off, we had already completed all this part. But, here is my new storage room. And this really did turn out nice. Really easy for me to find all my different items. Buildcraft. Why did I put that there? That's not an industrial craft thing. Yeah, it is. Okay, never mind. Buildcraft, Industrialcraft, Railcraft. Lots of gems and jewels. And just kind of everything easy to get at. So, that is complete. And the cavern is really coming along. I've got it down to just the corners, and even the corners are at level 18 now. So we're getting to the point where we're going to start building in there really soon. So that means today we need to go in and we need to finish up. Well, I may not completely finish the minecart ride, but we need to do the next part. So this episode is going to be all about our chasing boulder ride. So first off, I need to get supplies. I've already pre-staged a bunch of like redstone materials and things like that, but I do need rails. So I'm going to go in here to my railcraft area, and I'm going to basically make me a bunch of old-fashioned rail stuff. No high-speed stuff, just the traditional rails and things like I've been using to continue that. And then when I get all that done, I will meet you guys over there at the where I dug out my area, and we will start actually working on this. And I think we're going to do this a little bit different than I did when I first designed it in Creative. Similar design, but using like the detector rails. So there'll be a little changes there, but we'll see how this works out. So I will see you guys shortly. Alright, so here we are. This is where the magic will happen. I kind of darkened it up in here a little bit. Got rid of, since we have the half slabs, nothing's going to spawn in here. So it's a little bit, dark as you're coming through. And then we see the light. And there's a spot where we set our cart down and continue the ride. Like I said, I want to kind of do this a little bit differently. But I do think that it wouldn't hurt to go back to Creative, take a look at what we did over there, get kind of an idea. And then we can kind of come back just so it's not completely reinventing the wheel. So let me head over there and let's take a peek really fast. Alright, so here we are. And it looks better than that. Unfortunately, when I start recording, it doesn't quite look as well. Luckily, I'll be hopefully getting my new computer here in a few weeks, and then I can this will actually look more normal when I do it. But again, how we had this working. At the moment, I have a signal coming from the outside working its way in. But by using the detector rails and then having the signal go out, I can do that a little bit differently. Now the issue is going to be how to get the timing to work that way. So I'm thinking we may actually need to do this a bit in Creative before we go over there, just because it'll be a lot easier having, all my materials there, because this, I forgot how how much of a problem this thing was. Especially with the double piston extender and the retractions and everything. Alright, well, let me look at this for a little bit. I'm gonna get a kind of an idea, plan, and then we'll come back and then we'll start playing around with this a little bit. So I will see you guys in a few. Alright, so I'm looking at this, and having all these repeaters here was my way of doing timing, and I think I had side stuff going on to try and get them up quicker. As I'm looking at this though, I'm thinking if I've got it coming from the inside out, the problem would be when it was coming up that the pistons on the bottom would be extending before the pistons on the top. And right now, when you do this, the top piston comes down first, which is actually this one goes first, and then about a second or so later, this one, and this one all go to make it look like, and then the next one ahead goes down to make it look like it's going. So the one here always had to be after the one up here. And I was trying to think of how to do that, especially with repeaters and things like that. But what I came up with, and the thing is too, this I can get away without having to do this on every one of these, is get rid of this altogether. Because it's going to be coming from here, and when it gets up to this point, so you see we're going to have this torch, like say right here. If I also have another block over here down with redstone, when this one turns on, it's going to kind of push it forward, or maybe up here, and then it's just going to be a set of blocks running across into this piston, and at the same time above it on one side it's going to go up to here to do this one first. Yeah. Alright, well, let's get all my tools down here. Alright, so let's see. Whoa. Cobblestone slab, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, interesting. And it does say cobblestone slab and stone slab. I just want cobblestone. There we go. Alright, get rid of you. Actually, I'm going to build this up a little bit higher too, just so I have access to underneath it. Alright. And this is kind of like a proof of concept, just to see that this works before we actually progress any further on this. And if it does, if I can make this not just simpler, but more economic to do, then I'm going to be extremely excited. Alright. Let's see. I'll put you there. I'm going to have to put a few more of these so I can run the track. One of each of you. We'll just go straight like that. And let's see, I need a button. Silly things to be short of. Alright. And that's going to get us, and it runs us to there. Now the next thing we need to do, let's see. Actually, we'll go over here so I can make sure I'm in the right spot. Okay, good. Alright. That's where we're heading out from. And I guess I can probably narrow this so it's easier to... Well, let's see now. Actually, come to think of it, it's 3 wide, right? And I apologize if this is kind of more of a derpier than I normally do, but if this works, I'm going to be beyond excited. Just, like I said, resources, not an issue, but the complexity of putting things in a confined area, that's the part that, that's a little, if I can avoid that, that's going to be awesome. Alright. Now, let's see, is it what, the 3rd level up is where we put these? Yes, okay. Alright, we'll put you guys here. And I'm only going to do, like I said, just like maybe 1 or 2 rows to begin with, just so I can, again, test the concept. Alright. Alrighty. Piston there, and there, and then we'll put our cobble in the way. Alrighty. Now the next part. We can always change that later if we need to. For the moment, we'll just continue on like this. And it gets dark. Alright, let's see. Let's change to daytime again. Alright. Actually, is this one's going there? Let's put you here. So technically, I want to put these over one more. There we go. Alright, redstone will go in the middle. And actually, you know what? We're going to put a lever here, just so that I can manually trip this when I feel like it. So like I said, you know, when it goes across it, so I can actually see the power being sent. Alright. Now, cool part is, since this is the middle, so it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. We're just going to go 8 on each side. Just for now, just like I said, as I kind of work my way through all this. Alrighty. Okay. Now the thing is, the first one that goes, so let's just get rid of you, because you are not going to be there. Because I want the first one that goes. Alright, hold on. I need the double piston to go first. Which means, I think that's what I meant, was that yeah. We aren't going to start this stuff until here. Gotcha. So the detector rail is always going to be one block ahead of where it actually starts to work. Actually, I think it doesn't matter now because of the way I plan on doing this. When I was originally thinking of things that it actually mattered, but now, come to think of it, sorry. Alright, you know what? Let me get through a little bit more stuff together here real fast, and then we can kind of do some testing. So hold on one sec. Alright, so far, so good. Alright, so we have coming from where the detector rail is going to be a single line that spreads out. So I only have to do this coming from there every 3 blocks. And then where it would connect to the other lines, I've got a repeater to keep it kind of safe. And then over here, and they're all getting fed from here, so this repeater is going to affect all 3 of them, so it's not going to change the delay. And I have 3 repeaters to work with, 1 here, 2 here, and 3 here. So adjusting with the timing, I can make this go as quickly or as slow as I want. Ugh, I hate that. But you can see they're going to go in a different order. And as I play with the timing over here, it'll, oh man, it'll do even better. It looks better when I'm not recording. Just says something about the Fraps is playing havoc with it right now. That looked like a little better that time. Alright, so anyway, so that's that. And then once again, I mean up here I can even play some more. This at the moment, I could do this. Oops. I mean, if I really didn't want to, you know, waste repeaters, I can always, you know, alternate like this, and this will also reduce the, you know, a couple ticks from each one of these. But the big thing is we don't want them to not contaminate, but to cross over with the signal. So far we've got this working, and again, this is just timing, so I'm not worried about that. Once I get everything set up, then I can go back and kind of figure out for timing how I want to do it. Now the next step, though, is going to be the top part. We have to put in a double extending piston here, so that's going to be the fun part. So there and there. All right. Let's at least get our pistons put in here. There we go. All right. And this should be the fun part. So yeah, let me look at this again for a little bit, kind of like I did over there, and let's see if I can't maybe clean up the process I was doing over there, since now that I don't have this weirdness here. I mean, I literally have just this coming up, and the other part of reason for having this here, I'm going to have it up here as well. So all I need to do is the delay up here is going to be a lot less. Like maybe I'll make these all max going through, and then the ones up top won't be, and that will allow it so that these ones, this first one's going to drop first before these ones. Again, it's a timing thing, but that's the key part about this, is getting the timing done. And then of course, thinking of ways, the other part is of course up here, getting this section, our second piston to extend afterwards. So, alright, give me one sec here while I think about this, and I will be right back. Alright, so here's what we have so far. And while it is starting to get bigger, it's actually in a position that is going to work. I've never been afraid of large, expensive, resource-intensive projects, but what I do like is something that works properly. So, so what we got going on here, again, our signal comes in from the detector rail. It's going to send them into these 3 blocks with a delay as however I set it. When it gets up to this block here, you can see it's going, we're going to start splitting things off. These are at max delays on everything, so the delay here compared to up here is going to be a lot, and I'm probably going to keep all of these here because I'm going to need to have a bit more delay possibility on these. And then at this point, it also goes up top and down here. We'll have a little bit more of a delay on this as well, because this one here needs to actually match this one here. So the one up top is the one that's going to go shooting right through, and it's going to first off send this piston down, and then after some delays we'll get this piston down here. So far I've got 4, 8, 12, 16 ticks of delay. 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need 10 more. 4, 6, 8, 10. So now technically these two should actually go at the same time, and the one up top should be almost instant. And let's see, I might as well, again for proof of concept, add this in to all of its full delays, and hopefully I should get the what I'm hoping for. So I'll have to look and see when when I'm not recording, because again, unfortunately, with the way this works, it looks like it's not, but it actually is. It's just my recording software. Now I haven't combined these yet, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the exact same line that extends these one at a time. Oh, that's a okay, I have to rethink this, because once I have more than one in here, it's still going to light them all up. Alright, I'm going to have to do a little more thinking, because right now that one would grab all those, and then this one would go down and grab all those, actually in the other order. There we go. And that would be what would reset everything. But now here's a question. Would that work or not? Key moment. What the heck? Why did you work there? Everyone but the one I wanted to work worked. Oh, because it lit all those up. That sucks. Alright, I'm gonna have to rethink this part here. So let me go back to the drawing board here. I'll be right back. Alright, so I don't know how well this is going to look, because unfortunately for me, it is working perfect, but I know for once I start recording and do it, it's probably not going to look as well. Alright, so here's what we did. Instead of having a detector rail for each one of these, I've now decided to link them like this. So where the last one goes in, it's going to have another 3 pistons moving into here, full delay, and then it's going to come in and it will start the pattern again here. So now I don't have to keep setting up detector rails and stuff. I just have to interconnect them, so once you start moving, it's going to be just continue to work all the way up until the end. And then I went ahead and realized that I hadn't had delays properly set for these ones, which was causing it not to fire off correctly. And then up here we got all the delays set for these, and then I had to put a couple delays here because this was actually, once I put the delays in, it was actually firing off so early, like almost all of them, all the way down, would fire before the rest of them. So let's see how well this thing looks once we actually do it on camera. And let's see, here we go. Hopefully it looks pretty good. Now, you kind of get a look for it. And again, I will come back and revisit this with my new computer once I get it. But yeah, that is perfect. Now the only other issue I could have is I gotta see how fast I'm moving down in the rails, because that could be the issue as well. So I may have to actually move everything out further to allow me to get ahead. Once I start building it inside, like in the actual cavern, going to the cavern, then we can fire off the, well, we can try it as well. The other thing I'm going to have to then work out is this. So I've got my cleanup set here like this. So they both work. I just need to feed them independent of that. That's always the big issue. I don't want to light or turn this on. I think if I do half slabs, I think that's the trick. Half slabs will go up even. Okay. Even when there's directly above. So if I were to say, let's make it here. Go like this. It's got to be the upper half slab. Okay, so let's try this one more time. I should be able to feed the lower ones from up here now. So using this one rail here, I should be able to. Yep. Okay. So now all I need to do is once if that's not there, it only does that part. Okay. So this will feed them. Now what I just need to do then, it's timing. Let's see. If you're here, here's actually a question. Let's say I've got wire here. Is that going to extend this piston? It is. Okay. I can't use that as a, not a cheat, but a bug. Alright. Let me look at this for a little bit. I'm going to figure this out. I want to make it set up so a single button at the end is going to feed through here, because I've got to make it to go the extent of it, which was like, I think we're going like 20 or 30 blocks. So it's got to have a couple connections in between. So it needs to be able to run down and hit all of these as well as run down from there. So I'll be right back. All right, we are definitely getting somewhere now. Purpose of this is to reset this line here. I decided instead of trying to run two things, we're just going to reuse up here, which was something I hadn't been able to do over on this one. And I think it was because of how I had things being run in weird, crooked ways and stuff. So basically, what we'll do is, and the reason for this here is so I can feed all of these without having loop back, because if I just do a normal loop back here, it's going to remain lit, and I can't have anything drop down to go into them because these are going to be everywhere. So if I have a block in this position, it's going to power these ones again, which I don't want to do. So basically, it just comes to this point, runs up over here, and then it comes back down around, and it ends at this one, so it doesn't repower it. It's just a, just have to figure it out for each one of these. And the same thing down here, because it gets to this point at wherever it is in the next one, I'll have to do the same thing to come around, but it'll basically get them all to reset for me. So show you right here. There we go. It pulls them all up, and that will be triggered at the end of this second trigger. So when I get to the last part of this, we'll have a loop back coming around that's going to run the length of this. Actually, and that can't be like that. It works good for here, but not for over there. The tiny details, the final details. Actually, that's all we got to do. There we go. So we'll have one more set of blocks coming here, like this. And just like over there, we'll be feeding into here and have redstone coming out. So at the very end of this, it'll run the length of this. That's going to push the top pistons down. And then once it's all done, then it'll send over here, and that'll push those down, and that will reset the whole system. Alright, wow. That is a lot of work for this, but I think it's going to look really cool when we're done. So, now it's a matter of building this. So, I think we'll end up doing, first off, is we're just going to build this entire bottom part here, and then we're going to play around with it with an actual rail cart so I can see the timing. And I'll have something kind of like a light. We'll put like maybe glowstone lamps on top of these, so once I roll down with the cart, I can just look to the side and make sure that this doesn't ever get ahead of the cart. If it does, then we'll have to go back and adjust the timing to make it so that it does. Once the timing down here is done, then we can get into the rest of the items, because this is the important part. Once the timing here is good, these are all just going to kind of piggyback on top. So, alright, well, I'm going to head back into my regular world. Looks like I got to do some digging down. I got to go at least two layers below. 2 layers below to set all this stuff up. And then we'll start playing around with that. So I will see you guys in a moment. Alright, so I'm over here kind of doing my dig out, and then I decided to kind of take a look at the footage, and I think that right now we're already at a half hour. So if I were to continue along with this project, it would of course be a long episode, but I mean, I'd start to have to kind of cut out things, in the middle of the process, just to try and keep it from going way over. And I'd rather be able to kind of take my time and fit as much as I can in. So what I think we're going to do, we're going to cut this episode right here. We get the planning stage where we've basically figured out our new design for this, and then I'm just going to start recording the second one. So we'll basically move right on into the actual building of our ride here, and that'll be our next episode. So I'd say give me suggestions, but I've already made this before the episode ever comes out. So hope you guys are enjoying this. Hopefully also soon I'm going to have the cavern ready so we can get to work on that, because I'm really excited for that project. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.